Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and right now I want to make a video on HighTide stock. So shout out to one of my subscribers, Windswept Mainstream right here. Asked me if I can do a video on this stock, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So right now we're looking at HighTide website. So HighTide is a cannabis company. You could see the rising tide of cannabis. Very clean website. You can see their ticker up top here, OTC market, the TSX. So very clear, you can see exactly what you're getting with this company. They have their little story right here. If you guys want to pause it and read this, you can. But I want to go down a little bit further to their brands. So again, very transparent with how they work. Their retail brands include Canna Cabana, Kush Bar, New Leaf, and Meta, creating one of the largest footprints in Canada. So they are a pretty big name in the cannabis market right now in Canada. Obviously in Canada, it is legal right now. And so the biggest issue with companies in the cannabis industry is the profitability. And so I will get into that a little bit later. But if you just keep going down right here, a lot of the things that I like with the latest news, you can just see right here, they're doing a lot of acquisitions. So right here, Canadian cannabis retailer HighTide set to acquire third US-based e-commerce. Earlier than that, they had HighTide buys US online accessory retail. And then most recently, they strengthened their balance sheet with over $7 million of debt converted into equity. So in the short term, this company is making a lot of right moves. But obviously, we came here to find out, is this a good company or not? So right now, we're looking at HighTide financial statements. This is straight off of their most recent Q3 call. And obviously, we know they're a cannabis company, but are they profitable? Are they making money? Are they growing? And so if we look at their highlights, you can see the revenue for 3 months ended was an increase by 180% year over year. The revenues earned was increased 89% year over year. Their gross profits also increased 200% year over year. If you look at their cash and equivalents of July 31st, another increase by $7 million. And so a quick glance of their financial statements, we are seeing year over year growth in HighTide in revenues, operating margins, as well as cash and equivalents. But are they making money? And so right now we're looking at the financials on TradingView. It is easier to visualize and see exactly how they're doing instead of reading a financial statement. I think this is an easier way for you guys to visualize what's happening. So if we're looking at it on a quarterly basis, you can see every quarter we have seen an increase in revenue represented by the blue bar, and then the green bar is represented by the net income. And so we have been losing money, but the most recent quarter you could see we actually made some money, 3 million to be exact. And when you're in the cannabis industry, it is very difficult to be profitable because this is a very competitive market, and there's also a lot of variables outside of the business that make it tough to make money. And so if you can find a cannabis company that is making money, that is a very great signal for the long term, because this is a very new industry. We recently got legalized in Canada. Joe Biden's in office in the United States, and that is around the corner for the US. And so this industry is only going to blossom as it grows. So everything that I've been seeing so far on HighTide through their financials, their acquisitions, and their overall growth has been very bullish. And so I want to look at the chart just to see how that has been reflected in share price. And so right now we're looking at HighTide on the 30-minute time frame, and this is the most recent pattern that we have been trading on. So this is a trend line that has been interacted a whole bunch of times, that has been treated as support. And so if we look at it a little bit closer, we could have potentially had a nice little cup, slight handle, and a breakout above. We're trading at only 62 cents with this one. And so the fact that we are on an uptrend line does give me more confidence. If I zoom this out onto the daily time frame, I just want to check out the volume on this one. And wow, you can see that the volume has been very incredible the last couple weeks. If we look at that relative to what we've seen in the past, it's been absolutely monstrous. So since about January 19th, we have started to see increased amounts of volume. That is probably because of all the hype around the cannabis industry. And because this company actually made a profit in the last quarter, it actually gives me more confidence for it to be a longer term investment. Given the bullish catalysts that are coming up these next 4 years for the cannabis industry, I would not be surprised if this stock explodes. Again, it's very difficult to make profits in the cannabis industry. Even some of the top dogs still aren't doing it, and they are trading well higher than HighTide is right now. And so this is definitely a stock that is on my radar now, and it might be a stock that I have to open up a position in and to ride out this hype, because right now it is a very hyped industry, and I think we are just getting started here with the cannabis industry. So HighTide financially looks pretty good. It looks solid as a company, as they are growing. They have a very clean website, very professional. They have a lot of brands under them. They are making really great acquisitions as a company. And on a technical basis, we are now on an uptrend, potentially even a cup and handle ready to break out. And so this next week might be pretty explosive for HighTide. So as an entry point for myself, I would be looking for something along this uptrend line. But if I do see a nice volume in this one and I do see a break of the 62 cents line of resistance, I may open up a position just to ride the short-term hype on this one, because it does look like we have finished that cup and handle. And if we break that line of resistance, I do think we will run up even further. And so that is my quick little analysis on HighTide stock. I do think this is a pretty good looking stock right now on a technical and fundamental basis. And so wouldn't be the worst idea to open a position in this one. I definitely am looking at an entry position for HighTide. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like. We are on that road to 10K subs. So if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I will see you guys in the next one.